Good evening, Fernwood. It's your TV pal Neil, and it's time for some more late night variety madness with another episode of Fernwood Tonight. If you're just seeing my face for the first time, well, this is a reaction show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will watch this show together, and then afterward we will talk about it, because that's literally what a reaction show is. And if that sounds like it's your bag, then please stick around. Also, if you'd like to help support this channel and help it grow, please visit Patreon and subscribe there. You can get early access to episodes, uncut episodes, and monthly updates, plus other things later. We are watching today episode 64, the penultimate episode of Fernwood Tonight from September 29th, 1977. I'm going to go with it. I think that's the actual date. Yesterday's episode put a smile on my face. Why don't we find out why? Barth Gimble started by talking about fan clubs, since recently a fan club was started in his name, and they welcome Mercedes Bleiweiss, who offers a plaque to Barth dedicated to our very own super hunk. Jerry is now a published author of Cowboy Willie's sex book, where kids can learn proper terminology like that all men have faucets and that women have ovens and milk bottles. Lou Moffat comes on to tell about the Mr. Boogie Dance Studio, and that for $50 you can go from uncoordinated to a complete dancing diva. He brings down an audience volunteer who claims to have no skill at all, but turns out to be able to blow the roof off the place and get even more friends from the audience on the dance floor. And that's where we ran out of time yesterday, everyone. We are running out of time even more. As I mentioned, today is the penultimate episode of Fernwood Tonight. Let's see how this is gonna go.
Tonight from Fernwood, Fernwood Tonight, 30 minutes of very remarkable entertainment coming to you almost live with your host for tonight, Mr. Barth Gimble. Tonight, Barth's guest will be Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z, two tough animals and a pirate, William W.D. Budd Prize on how to alter your jeans without a tailor, and Happy Kind and the Mirth Makers. And me, I'm Jerry Hubbard. And now here's your host and mine, Mr. Barth Gimble.
Same move you make, Hap. Thank you very much. Good evening, and welcome again to Fernwood Tonight. I am Barth Gimble. Okay. Oh, no, that's fine. And I'd like to take a couple of seconds right here at the beginning to apologize to a darn good friend of mine, Craig Savage of Savage Cleaners, where they actually do operate their own plant, incidentally. A lot of cleaners say it, but Craig does it, and I've seen him. Okay. Craig, I know you haven't been able to reach me on the phone for the last few days. I'm sorry. We've been having some trouble with crank calls, the kind all celebrities get. You know, for a while they were fun, but then I started getting some real dates. Yeah, seriously. I'm sorry, the problem probably should clear up soon. Also, to the friends who've noticed milk bottles piling up on the front porch of my humble abode and got a little concerned, no cause for worry. I've just been getting into yogurt making at home, which is really a delight for me. Not spending the night anywhere. And leaving the bottles in the sun for a few days, of course, really gets the healthy bacteria action going. Finally, I hate to use up time on the show for this personal business. I feel like a jerk, but I think once a performer separates his art from his life, he might as well sell cars for a living, because it's all over. Which is no knock at the car business. We've all got to get somewhere. All right. Anyway, just a final word to anyone who's been sending me bills and notices to pay and final reminders and so forth. I'm not ignoring whatever you're sending. I just happen to have mislaid my checkbook for a few days. It may be in my other pants. I don't know. But those payments will be in the hands of Uncle Sam's finest before this week is out. You have my word on that. And I believe the Constitution does forbid attaching a man's salary because, well, the way I read the 13th Amendment, working for free is the same thing as slavery. Okay. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Let's get on with our show. Here's our co-host and announcer, Mr. Jerry Hubbard. I had to chuckle there for a minute. The way some people read that 13th Amendment, they don't realize all that stuff is true.
Well, you know, you're talking about problems with money. There's a saying that money is the root of all evil, which is, again, people misread that. That's not true. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. People get a lot of sayings wrong.
Like any others?
Like that one.
Yep, we got that one wrong, all right.
And music hath charm to soothe the savage beast. It has charm to soothe the savage breast.
It could also be a beast's breast.
He probably soothe the breast of the beast.
Sure.
But in Europe, speaking of money, they have a saying that never touch a bad check with a 10-foot pole. I'm just kidding there, because if you can laugh at your money problems, they seem to be a little less severe.
If you can't laugh at your money problems,
what can you laugh at?
Absolutely. Well, we got a great show tonight, despite this. Those of you who watch the show may or may not have noticed a band leader like Happy Kind. How about him, ladies and gentlemen, huh?
Oh.
Happy, they've told me you've written another alleged song. I know a lot of people are always asking you questions about your writing. What do you do first, words or lyrics? And they're always asking you as well. Happy, where do you get your ideas?
Well, Barth, inspiration can come from practically any place. You know, it comes from trees, a lake, beautiful girls, you know, anything like that. Sometimes just from a sore throat, you know, you can get some kind of an inspiration. Or it can come at any time of the day or night. Night and day, doesn't matter. Sometimes when you're walking down the street where somebody lives, or across a crowded room at a party, you know, anything.
So that's all there is to it, huh? Is that all there is?
It's still the same old story.
Right, okay. Why don't you just sing a song, okay? Happy Kind and the Mirthmakers. Here they are.
My ice cream baby knocks me for a loop. My ice cream baby loves a triple scoop in her white saddle Oxford with the 2 flavored goop. She's the sweetest, 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 sweetest. Did you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
My cupcake baby with her sticky style. My cupcake baby with the Twinkie smile. Chocolate covered teeth. You can see a mile. But she's the sweetest, 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 sweetest. Did you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
My soda pop baby.
Yeah, yeah.
She's a strawberry mess. My soda pop baby. In her red streak dress. She needs dental care. But I must confess, she's the sweetest, 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 sweetest. She makes me sick.
Not mine. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you, Happy. You know, one problem most cities share, big or small, is the increase in the crime rate. The Tri-County area is no exception. Tonight, with us to discuss the crime problem are 3 men who should know they are criminals. To protect their identity, they will be using phony names and wearing disguises. Let's meet them now. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
You know, before we get started, Barth, I think we should thank the guys in the makeup department who provided these wonderful disguises. Because even if I know who you guys were, I wouldn't know who you were.
That's right. Our makeup department's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
He is.
Pretty proud of him here in CSC.
Cooks up some great beef stew during those winter months, too, huh?
But that's not why we're here, Jerry. You know they won't be using their real names either. You know that.
Well, I hope not, because that would be a dead giveaway right there. You kind of defeat the whole purpose of the masks.
Right. Let's start with you, Porky. What type of work do you do?
I'm an enforcer. If a guy is late on his loan payments, I get him to pay.
Woo. Now, how do you do that?
I put his fingers in a drawer and shut it.
Bugs, what sort of stuff are you into?
Well, for a fee, I make sure people do what we want them to do. I do this by threatening bodily injury, inflicting bodily injury, and sometimes doing away with the body altogether.
In other words, I think we can suffice to say you're a hitman.
Oh, shit. We like to refer to it as a persuasion engineer.
Okay, persuasion engineer. Doesn't it bother you, though, persuasion engineer, to know that you're a killer?
Well, it's dirty work, but somebody's got to do it.
I guess you're probably right in your own way.
I have a question to ask. Do they still make those great cartoons with the rabbit? I never see them anymore, and I don't know whether they're still making them or if we're just seeing the old ones.
What cartoon?
You know, the ones with the bunny and What's Up, Doc?
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyhow.
How about the one in the middle, Mr. X or whatever you are there?
The hook. The hook.
So it sort of looks like Peter Ustinov after a bad car accident. Sorry, and I hope he never has one. I'm sure we all agree. The hook, that's fine.
Yeah, the hook, yeah. Well, I don't do anything as exciting as these guys. You see, I'm just a beginner. I still have a regular day job.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a school crossing guard and a part-time paramedic.
Paramedic.
So in other words, you can only commit crimes at night?
Yeah, that's right. You know, little robberies, petty thefts, assault, that kind of thing.
Mm. Well, you've got to start someplace. Maybe you keep your nose to the grindstone and really work hard. Someday you can move up to an executioner or a hitman.
I hope so, Jerry. I'll try.
Gentlemen, let me ask you very seriously. In your opinion, why is crime on the increase? How about you, Porky?
I'll take that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take that.
Bugs, you got?
I'm just going to hop right in with that answer.
Now, don't think I'm bugs. But the thing is, the biggest problem is that they're making crime too easy with them burglar alarm devices. You know, them so-called devices?
Yep.
They're an invitation to steal. I come to a place. I see a guy's house with a burglar alarm device. I figure this guy's really got something valuable to protect.
Yeah. And I imagine the banks are the most guilty of that. They always have those burglar alarms. And it's a dead giveaway that there's something valuable inside. They should probably get rid of the alarms and just keep a low profile.
Oh, yeah, another big help to the criminals is when you turn your lights off and you lock your door when you go out.
No good.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
No, that's right. If you leave your door open, your window open, your lights on, we think you're home. So we pass the joint right by.
Right, bud.
But then on the other hand, you could walk right in and steal everything. I mean,
Never thought of that.
You could just walk right in.
Walk right in and take it.
all right.
Look, you know, Bob?
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's really wonderful of you guys to come on the show and then share these secrets with the audience on how to protect your valuables. And I'm sure someone in some way will benefit from this advice. And who knows, you guys helping other people in some crazy roundabout way may actually end up helping yourselves.
Yeah, I'm sure they will help themselves to our silverware, to our cars, TV set, etc. Oh, not the TV set, because we're on. Listen, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And if any of you are worried about crime, don't forget these faces. If you see them on the street, you know you're in trouble. Okay? We'll be right back after these words. Don't go. So, Jerry, basically, the whole thing is if they used real animals, see, they use drawings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If they used real animals, when they walk into that electric fan and blow all over the room, that kind of thing, they'd have to get a whole new animal and everything, so that's why they use drawings. And they are drawings, okay?
Because I've seen them fall from 1,200 feet, and then they just come up with a little bandage on it.
Okay. But you understand it now,
Yes,
right?
thank you.
Okay, good. My next guest really needs no introduction because, is this because of the rabbits, Jerry?
Must be trained as well.
This is good. Can you see any better now? My next guest is going to introduce him. He really needs no introduction because he usually gives himself one. Please welcome the very, very unofficial ambassador at large here in
He's still
Fernwood.
calling himself that.
I know.
The mayor is really annoyed about that. And I thought he was going to put a stop to him even appearing on the show.
You would think 3 public denials would give the guy the hint, but apparently not.
Oh, wait, there's 2 sides to every story.
Well, there's many sides to this man, even his own name. His name is Mr. William W.D. or Weenam Damon. William Weenam Damon Bud is his nickname. He likes to be called Tom, but his best friends call him Maury, which he prefers. Mr. William W.D. Bud Prize.
Well, now, mad boy, I want to tell you something. Fernwood is in the middle of a... Do you mind giving me a little room here? Fernwood is in the middle of a crime tidal wave. It's fabulous. It's unbelievable what is going on in Fernwood, and I don't know who's responsible for it. Last week was my cabunny that was stole right out from under me. And this week, I received this. This is a rancid note. That's a rancid note. I'm going to read it for you.
Did you get that?
Is this it? We have your chow chow. Leave $28 in small bills for us. Sincerely, XOXO, us. Now, you know that Cletus Emmett Wheelwalker and me puts things by for the winter. We get different produce from different people that gives it to us, and some of it we buy. This week, we just put up about 58 quart of produce and different kinds of things. We put up peaches, we put up gooseberries, we put up the different things. Expended $8 in cash on paraffin and produce. Put it all up. All right. So now I'm sitting at home. I'm sitting at home, and I hear this knock on the door, and then footsteps scurrying away. See, so I go to the door. This is what is on my door. Sure. You see, the mainstay of our life, our mainstay is chow chow. I use it on everything. I use it on beefsteak. I use it on chicken, on fish. Everything I eat is just covered in chow chow because I happen to love it.
Can I ask you what this chow chow is?
Really?
Well, chow chow, it's chow chow. Everybody knows what chow chow.
A little more specific.
It's like Piccadilly, but you got every vegetable under the sun and moon in it. You got your colored flour. You got your onions in there. You got your tomatoes. Everything is in there. You know, everybody knows what chow chow is except these 2 individuals.
And they stole a jar of that.
56 quart of it.
No, wait.
I'm sitting there. Now, so first thing I do when I get this note, because I know exactly what they're talking about, wanting the $28 for, so I started to call Cletus Emmett Wheelwalker. Just then the phone rings. He says he got the same note, walked outside, they had broke into the cellar door and had taken every quart of our chow chow. Now, Cletus Emmett Wheelwalker, I want you to know something, that this man could starve because of this. The man ain't got but 3 teeth in his mouth. Exists on Gerbers. Can only get the Gerbers down when it's loaded with chow chow. I don't know. Maybe babies likes it, but of course they can't talk. So this man could actually literally starve. Now, I told you we have $8 worth of this of investment in this chow chow, and what they done, they left Cletus a note telling him that they was going to put 1 quart in the hot sun per day until the rancid was paid.
Now, I have to say, a word of advice here, Bud. You're getting really flying off the wrong end, and I think someone's trying to get your goat, trying to get you ruffled here so you don't think
they got my cabunny, that's what they got.
Someone's out to
ruffle your feathers and you're not thinking properly when you're like this.
You
now
just get so
calm
riled
down
up.
and think rationally. Have you thought,
I could pay them the $28 in rancid
Don't
money.
do it.
Except that, well, I could pay it to them, but you see, I don't get any of the money that I earn on this show. I give it right back to Barth because he puts it in my trust fund. I told him I don't need a trust, but on the other hand, he says, well, who knows what?
Speaking of trusses, how is this coming along here?
It's coming along real
Chin of
nice.
Dynasty.
My Chin of Dynasty.
It's no worse, I'll say that much.
Well, it's coming along. We nipped it in the bud, you know, it ain't coming out anymore.
Is there any way you can identify the jars of chow at all?
Well, you know, them jars has got Cletus Emmett Will Welker stamp. A special stamp, you know, it's like a thing from outer space. Your different stores to show
It's not
where
just a CMW or anything like that.
No, it ain't like that at all, but you'll recognize it if you see it.
Well, for Cletus, if you're watching.
Have you taken this to like a fingerprint expert or a handwriting expert to see if
Well, leave your fingers off of it if you're going to do that.
It looks like if your fingerprints would be all over and you'd be the first one they'd suspect.
We'll be right back after these words. Well, you know, Jerry, this is amazing. Cletus goes to a lot of trouble to put these pictures together, and I'm glad we got a chance to show them here. This is great.
Nothing like a visual aid. A picture's worth 1,000 words.
That's it. That's the beauty of TV. It gives people something to look at, well, instead of just hearing your voice right out loud. Well,
another good thing, these make a funny sound, too, but I didn't know if you realized that.
I'm sure you can find a lot of funny things to do with them, Jared.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all the time we have for tonight.
Whoa, not so fast. No. We have a little surprise. I know how you hate surprise.
Jerry,
Yeah, we
more
do.
than anything, I hate surprises.
No, wait a minute. It's going to change your mind if I tell you it's a young lady who's dying to meet you. She's a member of your fan club.
It still could be something...
No, a very pretty young girl, wears a very lovely outfit, and she has a very unique idea. She's going to give you something I don't think you may have ever had before. She has a little business she calls Live Wires. Well, let her tell you about it. Come on out, Phyllis Morris. Phyllis?
You're very pretty.
Thank you. I'm
Welcome.
so glad to meet you.
One of you in my fan club?
I am. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
I have a singing telegram for you.
Did you ever have a singing telegram?
Forgive me.
I've never even heard one.
This is great.
Bart Gimble, Bart Gimble, Bart Gimble, we the people of the state of Florida hereby command you to appear at the county federal courthouse in Miami. This you must do. Failure to appear in court will result in a punishment of 18 months in jail and for a fine of $5,000. $5,000. Disobedience of this subpoena may find you in contempt of court.
Wasn't that great? Wow, that was just wonderful. I loved it.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful number. I'd love to hear Dinah Shore do that one.
Maybe she'll do it sometime. Well, we're just about out of time. We'll be back tomorrow night. At least I'll be back. I know that much. Me and Happy Kind and the Mirth Makers. Oh, brewing up our own kind of mirth. Till then, thanks for tuning in. Tune in again tomorrow. Phyllis, why don't you come back tomorrow night? Wear a little shorter skirt. Maybe we'll have you dance or sing. Or sit there on the couch and shoot the ball. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Also appearing on tonight's show were Kenneth Mars as William W.D. Bud Price, Gil Steele as Porky, Paul Ziegler as Hook, Don Sherman as Bunny, and Marika Taylor as Phyllis Morris.
Well, this looks like somewhere they've been leading us to for a while. We know that Barth has been dodging. You know what? Before I get to that, why don't we just go back to the top of the episode? For me, these little appearances at the opening and the opening segment during Barth's monologue seem to be more like, hey, let's touch base with our three lead characters, Barth and Jerry and Happy. And it's almost not even like a point to any of them except for just to get a little bit of flavor of what they're about. And when Jerry comes on, it's really all about a bunch of sayings that people don't get right. And he's actually correct about at least one of those. Then we cut over to Happy, and the question is, where do these songs come from that people write? And he literally talks about the world, but all of it is song lyrics, some of which may be less familiar to those of you who don't know, like, early 20th century music. But every phrase that he had contains some song lyric or even a song title in there. Then we bring in a little bit of intrigue with three guests who are introduced as Mr. X, Mr. Y, and Mr. Z, though they are credited as Porky, Bugs, and Hook. They are criminals that are telling us about their lives, their perspectives, and maybe things that help them do their jobs. I mean, it's clearly nonsense, but it is pretty funny to think that three criminals would, come to a studio and tell people exactly how they do things. Then we bring back William, Wingham DeMond, Tom, Maury, Bud, Price. All of the names. And most of this stuff is stuff that we have seen just in his last appearance, I feel like a week-ish ago. He even brings up the Kabunny, which is something that, again, is only a week. We've been seeing this man for a couple months at this point. A lot of the world building around this character seems to have happened in the last month or so. We know a lot of stories about Cletus Emmett Wheelwelker. Now we know that the Chow Chow has been stolen. When I saw the note, I thought it might be about a dog, but no, it's about chow chow, some kind of condiment like piccalilli. I myself have only heard of piccalilli maybe within the last year, somewhere on YouTube, possibly through the comments on Good Evening Fernwood, though possibly not. I get a lot of obscure things in my feed lately, but we know that the chow chow is some kind of food item. I don't know exactly what it is. It's like piccalilli, but with every kind of vegetable. And that's something that makes William W.D. Bud Price really outraged. And then we come back from commercial break, and before Barth is finally able to say his sign-off, Jerry has a surprise guest. Phyllis Morris, who isn't really there as a member of the fan club, and I'm not sure exactly how much Jerry knows about what she's planning, but he knows that it's a surprise for Barth. This is the thing that seems like the perfect event for the penultimate episode of Fernwood Tonight. Barth getting a subpoena in singing telegram form. We know that Barth is not happy about this. I'm not sure if Jerry entirely gets it. Maybe he does. We know that Barth is on the phone to someone at the end, though we don't know who. I'm very curious to see where this goes. This is clearly a bit of a cliffhanger for us. And with that, I have nothing more to say because we can only find out by watching tomorrow. So that's all I got to say about today's episode. However, we should know that next week, just days away, this channel will be changing to become Dating Myself, where I'll be watching some classic shows like MASH, which is a dramedy set in the Korean War, and Gatchaman, which is an anime that takes some teenagers and puts some cool superhero outfits on them. That's what we're going to be doing for a little while. If you want to find out more about that, maybe check into the Patreon, as I mentioned earlier. So everyone, thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you so much for leaving your thoughts, feelings, and impressions in the comments. Thank you to my top tier Patreon supporters, because I know you would never subpoena me. We will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.